So now that you have heard hot cross buns, I think I should start the video. Yeah, I think that's how it works. But after the hot cross buns and before the video, dear God, how? What? 700 something subscribers. How does this happen? Why does this happen? What? Sure, yeah, let's get on with the video, yeah. Other than, oh my God, 771 subscribers. What even is it anymore? I don't get it. It's insane. Oh, right. You guys, all of y'all, reptilians, right? That's what y'all are. So don't worry. In this video, we'll be doing entitled parents, reptilians, and pickles. Don't know how I'm gonna put pickles in there. Pickles. Boom. I'll get you all y'all's pickles. Y'all want pickles? I got you y'all's pickles. Okay, so let's get on to the video. IAM demands my seat because she can't see my disability. So I have severe social anxiety and I'm currently waiting to have an autism diagnosis. When I get extremely stressed, I get a sharp pain in my right side which stops me from walking long distances and sometimes even from walking at all. I had a doctor's appointment which made me super anxious since I have to repeat the same stuff about how basically I'm still in the same position as always and I'm not getting the proper help for certain things. My mom and I get a taxi which drains my energy a fair amount, but it's still better than a bus. We enter the clinic and find that it's busier than usual. There are 10 seats in a small room and 5 people are already occupying them. And them being adults, we knew that they were waiting for their children to come out from being seen. I sat at the end near the door where I always go when I enter, and my mom checks me in at the reception desk. And now all that's left to do is wait to be called. These doctors are usually early with their patients. Can't remember a single time. Wasn't seen at least 15 minutes before our scheduled appointment, so I wasn't too worried about the waiting schedule. My pain was slowly getting worse, so I was trying to focus and read my book when a loud woman came into the office. She had a pram with her and a son, who I assume was about 12 or 13, and he was wearing a local secondary school uniform. When she came in, she immediately started banging on the glass of the receptionist desk and told the lady that her son was here, while giving no info apart from his name. When hearing that they couldn't do anything without his name, she got even angrier because they didn't know who he was and that he was the most important client they have. She gave up and told them all the necessary details, signed in and gave her identification, then walked towards her son, who in the meantime had sat in the chair next to me. There was no chair next to him. The chairs were in 2 rows of 8 and a pair next to the doctor's entrance. Me and my mom were sat in the middle of the 4, and the son had sat next to me. 2 people had already collected their kids by the time she had finally told the receptionist who she was and confirming who her son was, and I assumed she would sit in the 2 paired seats so she would be near her son and have a space for her pram. Nope, she walked straight up to me, which led to the following encounter. Excuse me, dear, you're sitting in my seat, so can you move over a couple? Now, I was in a lot of pain at this point, and I didn't want to move since I was going in soon. Well, I was here first, so, well, I know, dear, but I need to sit next to my son. He won't sit next to anyone other than me since he has really bad autism and hates being touched and near other people. Mother, look, my daughter was here first, and he didn't seem to have a problem sitting next to her, so why don't you just sit over there? Pointing to the 2 separated chairs. I don't know if you heard, but we are a very important client, and he has super bad autism. I deserve to sit next to my son. He's extremely smart and sat next to you knowing that your brat would move for me. Mother, look, my daughter also has autism, but that doesn't mean that I have the right to be a heckler for her sake. Same goes for you. Plus, she's in a lot of pain caused by her disability, and moving is very hard for her. So let her sit here and leave her alone. Disability? She doesn't have a disability. She's not blind or in a wheelchair, and she doesn't even look disabled. She doesn't have one. This confused me since she literally just said that her son has autism. Like, girl, your son has a disability, just like I do, and you would know how much pain autism can cause because your son is autistic. The son had noticed the situation by this point and headed towards the 2 seats in the situation. Ian tried to stop him, but he shook her off and sat by the wall. Ian sat next to him, huffing about what had happened, telling her son off for moving when we were the ones who were supposed to move. The doctor called us in about 10 minutes later, and we had a meeting like usual. Whilst I did have a horrible experience that led to me having an anxiety attack, I found out that a school was willing to take me to interview me to see if I could go, so that's nice. EK breaks my bike and EM tells police it's their bike. About 11 years ago, I was living in a slightly poor neighborhood, and I had one friend that lived across the street. Let's call him Dorian, my family, and then EK/EM, who lived a block away. I also had a bike which was a little small for my age. I rode it almost every day to and from a large hill at the top of a neighborhood. One day I left it at the corner of a street as I was going to mess around with Dorian by a creek, just a few hours sundown. The area of Indiana that I lived was extremely rocky due to it being farmed to nothing and used as a limestone quarry dumping ground. I and Dorian got back to the street corner just 45 minutes before sundown, and we see that my bike chain was snapped and the frame was slightly bent with limestone powder and flakes covering. EK was standing behind a tree, which Dorian, being about 3 years older, noticed immediately. He walks over to EK, who seems to be hiding a large chunk of limestone, and asks, "Did you do that?" EK denies it immediately and hides the rock a bit further behind him. Dorian approaches him a bit closer, and EK runs to his house, which was about 4 meters away. Me and Dorian chase after him, but EK is inside before we can catch up. Dorian tells me to go get my mom and call the cops, and that he will stay by the door. And my mom tells the cops that my bike was destroyed by another child. About 14 minutes later, 2 different squad cars from the station roll into our neighborhood. Dorian is questioned by one, and the other comes up to our house. My mom and I tell them what happens, and Dorian says he's with us, but when the officers question EM, she says that the bike is EK's and we are the one who had broken it. They come back and we deny the claim and say to get the landlord because he has 24-hour surveillance. The officers go to the office, but EM and crying EK come over in our area to attempt to bribe us with $20 for an $80 bike. We refuse, and EM goes into a fit that she will lose her house because of this. And about 5 minutes later, the police are back to our house saying that they're sorry for the misunderstanding. And they go on to say that EM and EK are staying, but EM is getting a $120 fine for destruction of property. Fast forward 1 or 2 years later, and me and Dorian are having problems with EK. This time he is chasing me and Dorian around the neighborhood with a tiny pocket knife, and me and Dorian eventually collide. Me losing a tooth and him losing around a centimeter of skin from his forehead. The police are called, and EK is charged with assault with a deadly weapon and sent to juvie where he still is. EM is also evicted after saying that we were the aggressors and EK was defending himself. It was also later found that EM was a year behind on rent also. So funny thing, one time I went over to this kid's house and he was like, "You want to see my toy?" And I'm like, "What?" Yeah, then he goes to his kitchen, grabs a butter knife, and I'm just like, "Nope." Because of course that's whenever my parents were like, "Hey, stranger danger, if someone has a knife, freak the heck out." And now on to the probably final story, I don't know. There's a few more maybe. You're handicapped, now give me your game. Okay, I'll try to keep this short, but no promises. Since Valentine's Day is coming up, I decided to get my girlfriend a game, Animal Crossing to be exact, since she has been wanting it for a while. I'm pleasantly surprised that it's only 15 pounds, so I just bought it and was heading out to the car park when out of the corner of my eye I see a lady making no effort to hide that she's staring right at me. I really don't feel comfortable and try walking faster to my car when she speed walks up behind me and taps me on the shoulder. I look behind me and there she is, smiling with yellowed teeth. For the sake of this, I'll call her Snot-Nose Linda. Me, can I help you? Linda, yes, actually you can. I saw that game you have and I was just thinking how wonderful my daughter has been. She trailed off, still staring at me. I kind of froze on the spot. Me, I'm sorry, what? I asked as a horrible feeling started settling in my guilt, telling me to get the heck away, but I just stood there like an idiot. Linda, we've been to all the stores and they're all sold out. It disappointed her greatly and it broke my heart to see her cry. This was complete garbage since the game had been out for literal years. Could have gotten it shipped to you from Amazon. Linda, be a dear and make my child happy. I'll pay you. She talked to me like I was 6. I shake my head. Linda, oh come on, that game is not for adults. You must have something wrong with you if you want to buy it. You don't want to seem like a baby, she cooed, getting more annoyed. I was just standing there, until she ran up and snatched the game out of my hands and started running. I yelled and someone came to my rescue, asking what was wrong, but the damage had already been done, and she was speeding away. I drove home heartbroken and presentless. So I think that you can find my opinion on this story. Seems a little bit exaggerated on that end part of she was speeding away. I just imagine like this mom, she's in her minivan, she jumps in, she hits it into reverse, she screeches out of the parking lot, she goes back into drive, hits it into drive, fully automatic minivan, and it's just screeching on two wheels, like through the stoplights, and like the police have to chase her, but no, the minivan is too fast. All the while, the girl's like plugging it into, trying to plug it into her Nintendo Switch that was also stolen. She's like, "Mommy, it's not working." And then like she takes out a 3DS and plugs it in, and she's like, "You said you would get me Mario Kart." Ah! And then it just like heckin' F-18s and attack helicopters come in trying to take down this wild mom. They're shooting missiles, and then like the president's just like, "I'm afraid, but we're gonna have to do it." And then he presses this big red button and it says nuke, and it's just like, yeah. And that's the end of Animal Crossing Mom. You'll never be forgotten, Animal Crossing Mom. We'll always remember you. So this next one I'm doing because the kid said that, like, I'm trolling him on Discord because he wouldn't shut up. And then he was like, "You're gonna put it all in a video." So that gave me an idea. I'll put it in a video. Hey, congrats. Can we please do a collab? I'm begging you on my knees, please. I made some new content. Just please help me out. And please, 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 please do a collab with me. Please, 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 please. I'll do anything remotely depraved. Please. Come on, please. 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 Yeah, what do you think that kid's not getting now? Here's a hint, he's not getting a collab. I told him, make good content, but he made a plant review, so what's the point? So now on to the intro. I meant outro. I swear I know how to make YouTube videos. What's sub count? Too many? Okay, got it. Good job eating the video thing. Here, I'll eat a Ritz cracker in front of the microphone for you. So I think I've outroed effectively. Good job. Y'all are all the best, but I mean, y'all already know that because heckin' Mad Lads Insanity, and bye.